Wiki Cross. Hi, my name is Anna.
And I'm Peyton.
And today, what are we doing today?
Today, we are back with a different kind of video, and we will be watching a few of the comebacks that we have missed over the last couple of months.
So we'll be reacting to 3 videos today. The first one is going to be Girls by Nature. The second one is The Answer by AB6. And then the last one is going to be Apple by GFriend. So all summer comebacks that we missed in the past 2 months, and we are going in order that they were released in.
So we know that these are not all of the comebacks that we have missed, and we do have another similar video coming out next week, but these were videos that we, for one reason or another, didn't get around to, and they were requested before we actually had checked them out on our own time, so we can still react to them because we haven't seen them yet.
Also, since we are reacting to 3 videos instead of just 1 or 2, just so that this video doesn't get insanely long, our comments might be a little bit shorter than usual.
But we'll still give good comments.
Yeah, okay, let's go. Go. Okay, so I know nothing about Nature.
It's very, I was gonna say right from the very beginning, it's got like horror, haunted hotel, like murder mystery vibes.
Okay, I feel like I saw something on Instagram that was talking about how this is kind of like spooky, creepy.
Definitely feels that way.
It's like a haunted hotel. It's making me think of the Jackbox TV games. You know, the mystery hotel. Background harmonies. I like how it switches into black and white.
Yeah. I also really like their dresses when it's
Oh
in
my
the black and white shot.
The sheets.
Yeah.
Oh, the Korean title is Orine. Oh.
Ooh.
Interesting. I mean, that kind of... Because one of the, like, room shots is, like, a bunch of teddy bears on posts. Hot like chili.
Sorry, I'm being really quiet, but I'm just trying to like see all of the different scenes that are in it.
I have to look at the lyrics later and see connections and stuff. See, like that shot where it was just her and then now they're all coming in. That has to be symbolic of something, but I don't know what the lyrics are. Oh.
It also, a lot of the scenes feel like they're alluding to different like famous horror films. What is this? It look.
Oh. Okay. Oh, like a chant thing. Okay. Because they're doing like a drum line. Huh?
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
Ooh, I wonder if that part of the dance was broadcasted.
Which one?
Where they're down.
And then it gets all like trappy here. But they're doing oh.
So I will try to be quick because like we said at the beginning, 3 videos, don't want to make it too long. I'll be completely honest, I'm still kind of trying to wrap my head around the concept with the song, if that makes sense. Because like we read the lyrics afterwards because I was like, oh, I wonder why it's horror, because like summer release with horror, I was kind of like, oh, that's interesting. So I was like, oh, maybe it'll connect to the song. But I didn't see where it was horror in the song. I could be wrong. Am I wrong? If I'm wrong, let me know. So I watched the live stage version of the dance because there were parts of it in there that I was like, oh, I wonder if like that will be on broadcast. Because I know sometimes, depending on what the move is, groups have to change their movements for broadcast. And like it wasn't. And it was kind of like an iffy, like, oh, I wonder if this will be changed. I wonder if it won't. But I'm also very intrigued by the dance with the concept. Like the way that they're dressed is very innocent to very like childlike, which makes sense with the song. But then the dance is like super sexy. And I was kind of, there was like this disconnect and I was like, I don't know what to think. And honestly, I'm sure that there's a reason for it, but because I don't know nature like at all, I'm just kind of like, I'm confused. So if you know the reason, like please let me know. But in general, music video wise and like horror concept wise, I thought the shots were all really interesting because it definitely kind of made me like eerie, creepy, like that sort of vibe. Like they did the blank stare super well, and like the different, like I'm staring into the camera but like I'm kind of staring into your soul, and then I don't know, it just gave like that eerie, like creepy Halloween horror film vibe, and I really like, I love that. Anyone who's ever watched this channel knows that I really like horror. So in that sense, I like really liked it. But it's just the other thing, it's like so disconnected in my mind that I'm kind of like, what? And I'm having a hard time getting over that. So if you can explain the connection, please let me know. Anna's turn.
Starting off my thoughts, it's a little similar to Peyton, where like the music video seemed really interesting and like I want to understand more, but I was confused by like its connection to the song. Starting out from the beginning, I was like really intrigued by the first verse. And I was like, oh, this sounds really cool. Like I mentioned the background harmonies, it was very like dreamlike. Mm-hmm. But it's like the horror dreamlike, like a nightmare because of the music video concept, so I thought that was really cool. But then the song did a lot of genre changes, which is not uncommon for a K-pop song, but I feel like with the genres that they chose and tied into the music video, it wasn't the best combination that they could have chosen. The one specific example that sticks out to me is like, I pointed out the marching band section, I call it, where like it sounds like a marching band drum line and they're like group chant singing over it. It just felt kind of out of place with the rest of the song. The rest of the stuff is like, I'm alone was sort of the concept. Like, and yeah, I guess it could kind of tie into the music video because like the chair scene where she's sitting alone and then the rest of them join in, but musically there was sort of a disconnect. And then another thing that I felt kind of weird about was like the English line that I low-key mentioned. It was like 사랑은 really really, and then at some point it says hot like chili chili, and I was like, listen, to be completely honest, like this is a girl group that has trained for a very long time and like they're working very hard to get their names out there. Give them better lyrics, please. Yeah, I don't want to sugarcoat things. I want to be honest. So like my overall feelings about it are like, starting from the beginning, I was super excited about the song because it had a lot of elements that I was really intrigued by. So I wish like the things that I talked about could have been fixed so that the song could reach its full potential. Anyways, next. So, next song we're reacting to is The Answer by AB6, Korean title, 답을 줘. And we are more familiar with AB6.
Also, new disclaimer, since we started filming this video, there is now a 3-year-old in my house, so if it sounds like a child is screaming, it probably is a child.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
Yeah. Also, we have subtitles on. So, Woojin was my favorite when he was in 101, just so people know. I like the bass line.
Yes!
Hello! I really like him a lot. Anyways. I also really like Taemin.
Me too. He's so cute.
I know. Oh, this is like more low-key than I was expecting for the chorus. Yeah.
But I'm kind of digging it.
It's more vibey than intense, like,
because I was expecting like the
chorus dance. Oh, okay. Oh, I liked that. There was like oh. Oh,
that's a really cute dance move.
Oh. But I'm confused by the music video. Is it just supposed to be like, whoa? Oh my gosh, is he doing an escape room?
Because it's like you're being tested the whole time.
Take it to the bridge. JT? JT.
Ooh.
The layered background vocals are nice. No, yeah, I was gonna say, the background for this one, with the different colors and the screen sizes, it feels like very old school to me. I bet it was an escape room.
So yeah, we both really liked the song, but then afterwards when we went to look up like the lyrics and everything about it, because we had both kind of been like, oh, this kind of feels familiar, but then Anna literally, it was so funny, she looked it up first and she goes, oh my god, Peyton! And I was like, what? And then she was like, Zico wrote it. And we were
okay, he didn't just write it. Sense. He wrote the lyrics, he composed it, and he did the arranging and everything.
Which made so much sense because like the style, Anna will talk more about that. But yeah, if I have never said it on this channel before, I love Zico. He's one of my faves.
Wait, sorry. AB6,
anyway, back
not
to AB6.
Zico.
This is about AB6. I was really bopping along to this. Obviously, they're very, like, the songs are very distinct, but it kind of has that same, like, quirky, like, I just want to bop along to it as, like, any song. But yeah, I mean, like, I watched the dance, and you could see a lot of the dance in the music video, and, like, it's not the most complicated or, like, most complex dance that I've ever seen AB6 do. But, like, it really fit. Like, it kind of had that, like, Anna used the word, like, oh, this is more low-key, like, in the chorus than I was, like, expecting, because with all the bright colors, I think I was also expecting it to be, like, super high energy and, like, ah! But then it kind of just, like, it just, like, bopped, and I really liked it. Like, the dance even, like, they do a lot of, like, the bopping back and forth, and I really liked it. And yeah, I mean, they're all really good performers. We've seen them live. Like, they're all really good performers. I think in terms of the music video too, and I really kind of hope it was an escape room, but I really liked the whole like just very bright colors, kind of quirky feeling to it, because I felt like it really matched the song. Like I feel like every part of this matched really well. The dance matched the song, matched the lyrics, matched the like music video. Like it clicked with me. I don't know. This is like my style of an upbeat song, I guess. It's not like super like high energy, but Anna's turn.
So yes, we learned that this song was written by Zico, and after learning that, it really made a lot of sense because like Peyton was saying, like it really does give that vibe, especially in the beginning, the intro section where it's just like the song woes and then like the English spoken part on top of it. I was like, that's such a Zico thing to do. The song's just really groovy and vibey, but just so that comments don't get insanely long, I'm just gonna point out like a couple of little things that I really liked. So one thing was like the bass line I mentioned just makes it really groovy, and also it's kind of syncopated and it comes in and out sometimes. But then in the chorus, like I said, it was much more low-key than I expected, but then during the chorus there's like a trap beat that comes in, and when I think about trap beats, it usually is a little bit more like relaxed, I guess, compared to other percussive beats that can be added that are more like synthy electronic. So that made sense to me, but it still like kept the song going instead of it just being like a little too relaxed. Another thing was the bridge part. I mentioned the layered background vocals, and but also it was cool because it switches between each of the 4 members' parts, and each time it switches it adds another layer. So that was like really cool timing with that. And then the last thing was the ending is really interesting because it sounds like a guitar, but I don't remember the rhythm, but it just goes like duh-duh-duh. But it's not playing any pitches. It's kind of like when you have the strings held so it doesn't make any noise, but it still like has that sound effect. I thought that was really interesting, like a very abrupt ending for the song that's been really vibey the whole time. But yeah, we both really like this song.
Yeah.
That being said, on to the last video.
Okay, so now we'll be reacting to GFriend's Apple. We are also both pretty familiar with GFriend. I mean, it's called Apple. I'm gonna get like Garden of Eden vibes, I'm guessing.
Oh, I saw apple tree and I was like, the giving tree?
Oh.
But probably not.
I'm gonna go with like the forbidden fruit.
That makes sense as well.
Wow, that's a really pretty shot.
I know. Oh my gosh. Oh, is it Snow White?
Snow White.
Oh.
Ooh, that was a very GFriend start to the dance.
Oh. Intricate hand
also, like,
arm
the line.
movements. Yeah.
Yeah. And like the hands, yeah.
Oh, whoa. Oh. Oh, I like that. Is this in 6/8? 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to turn this up.
I'm gonna go with Snow White.
So pretty!
Yeah.
I like this so far. I need to think of what vibes it's giving me. Oh.
Ooh.
It's very like clam. It's reminding me of. I don't know, I'm low-key getting like Madonna vibes. I don't know if that's exactly what I'm looking for though. I'm still trying to find the connection. I don't think that's the perfect one I was thinking of though. Okay, the thing is, the lyrics make me think more like Garden of Eden.
Right? But the music video makes me think Snow White.
Oh. There was a target on her shoulder. I'm pretty sure. The strut.
And now it's like the dark outfit,
Yeah.
dark makeup.
Uh-huh.
Now instead of being tempted, they're the temptresses.
Ooh. Oh. I actually really like this. Oh.
Oh, the pass-through line in the dance.
What are the butterflies for? I'm confused. And now they're talking about witches. Huh? The ooh wah wah. The texture of doing things like that. I might say, I'll tell you later. Oh.
But now the thorns make me think Sleeping Beauty.
What is this?
So, like, I said it right from the very beginning of the video. I was like, oh, that's a very GFriend start. GFriend has a very specific style of dance. Like, their choreography is very specific, which makes sense because they use like the same team of choreographers, and even if they have different choreographers, they've like consistently had the same trainers. They have really developed their style since debut. It's the intricate hands and it's like the very precise movements, and like that was definitely present here. But like you can also definitely tell that from debut to now they've matured a lot in their dance style and also just like in the choreography itself. It makes sense too with the song and with the concept. But one thing that I really liked about it and that I felt like really showed maturity in their dance technique and artistry was that the dance is very sensual, but it's not like throwing it into your face. Like it's very almost understated, the sensuality of it. It's just the way they're moving and the way they're like conveying that emotion. And like the way they're dressed too. In like the music video, you see like the long skirts, and it's like, I don't know, it's just more understated. Like they're able to portray that sensuality just through like the maturity of their movements and the way that they're able to pass it off. But then one part that I thought was really cool, and I pointed it out in the music video, I was like, oh, the line pass through. And it's in their dance where they do this like line pass through and they're weaving in and out. And I thought that was really interesting because that's something that felt very fitting for like the time period the music video felt like it was in, like in the castle, in the ball gowns, that sort of thing. One of the places that you most often see the line pass through is in like social dancing, like you would do at a ball. You do it when you're like changing partners, because at a ballroom, like if you were at a ball, you don't stay with your own date for the night all night. You like have these dances where you pass through and you change partners, and that's like something that you would see. So I thought that was really interesting. And then yeah, I really liked the music video. I thought it was really beautiful, and we kept mentioning like, oh, I'm getting like Snow White vibes, I'm getting Garden of Eden vibes, like forbidden fruit, like all this other stuff. And I just thought it was really cool how it really did feel like they were pulling in multiple different allusions for different stories of the apple. But honestly, my favorite part of it was the change from this like very innocent, like when they're in the white dresses and it's very bright, to I was like, ooh, they went from tempted to temptress, and they're in the dark and like the lighting gets darker. And at the very end, they were like, we're just gonna burn it all down. And I was like, ooh, character development, I am here for it. So yeah, Anna's turn.
So I actually really like this song, and this is a little bit of a shock to me because I actually haven't listened to GFriend in a while. I'm more familiar with like early GFriend, so this is the first time I'm seeing their more mature side, and wow, okay. One thing that I really loved about this is how the song ties in with the concepts and everything. So one thing is, off the bat, the song is either in 6/8 or 12/8. I didn't get to count out how long the phrases are, but either way, it's not in duple meter. So instead of being like 1, 2, 3, 4, it was, like I said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, da, 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 da. Already off the bat, that gives it like a different feeling. But then, starting from the very beginning, because it's only that line playing the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That vaguely reminded me of how in some musicals, in the very beginning of the musical, there's sort of like a narration that's happening, and that would be the music that's playing underneath. I'm thinking kind of like Into the Woods, and I feel like the song really sets up this world that is like a fairy tale, like it's telling that story of a fairy tale, and that connects very well with the music video. Another thing that contributes to like that whole fairy tale feeling is there is so much reverb in this song and a lot of like higher pitched synths, which I feel like those synths have always been in GFriend's music, but with this one it really, along with like the reverb and the way that they're singing their voices too, and all the background vocals, it really creates like a dreamlike quality, which is like you're falling into the story, the fairy tale that they're telling. The only thing is that because there is so much reverb and the synths are so prominent, sometimes I felt like it took attention away from the main melodic line that's being sung. Like the main line wasn't as prominent as it should have been. One last thing that I wanted to say is that I kind of mentioned during the reaction, and I said that I'll tell you later, when they do wah wah all together in the background, I think it adds a different layer and texture because it's transitioning between the two vowels, so oo to ah, and when you do that, because your mouth is just opening up more, it naturally creates this feeling of the sound is increasing and getting louder, but it also kind of makes you feel like it's leaning in and then pulling back, like wah wah. So that was like a really nice texture to add on top of it. But yeah, overall, I really liked this song.
So TLDR is that sometimes life happens and we can't see every comeback that occurs. And so this was a fun way to catch up on some of the ones that we had missed and see songs that we had not yet gotten to check out yet. And we do have another one of these videos coming up soon. So yeah, if you like us doing these like kind of like catch-ups on things that we miss or don't get to or just get too busy for, let us know and we can see if we can add this into our schedule every once in a while.
Yeah. So that being said, if you liked this video, enjoy all of these 3 songs, any of these 3 songs, then please leave a like, comment, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, and bye!
Bye!